Yo, what is going on YouTube? This your boy Kamen Zero Spike back again once again. And today we're here for Avataro Sentai DonBrothers, and this is a great episode. We got some more we got a lot of information about who the bad guys are, who our three main bad guys are, what are the monsters called, where the bad guys come from, what is their overall like purpose, like what are they trying to do. We kind of delve into more of their personalities or lack thereof personalities, and yeah, and also there's a lot of basically this is I forgot, oh god, still haven't got names yet, but Pink, it's a lot of his this is more of a centric episode based on him in this. And we also see that there's a system out there that Jin knows about, and also Kaito knows about, when they basically have a point system to where the more points they have, they can basically have like a wish granted, or they can essentially leave the DonBrothers if they wanted to. But yeah, so basically we start off in this episode with Pink. He's like, he's having a lot of he's feeling weird about his marriage. He feels like he's not worthy of his wife Miho, and stuff starts happening. Basically stuff starts happening to him, and throughout this episode he's trying to become a more confident guy. He wants to be worthy of his wife. He wants to be more worthy to his wife. So he starts doing certain things that trying to, he gets a promotion. He gets a promotion at work, stuff like that. He ends up getting a promotion at work, and he becomes like head chief of his firm, stuff like that. And he starts acting like kind of like a douchebag, he kind of gets a big head, kind of becomes a douchebag a little bit in this episode. And yeah, but also we see that Haruka and Blue, I'm trying to get names, but Haruka and Blue, they're asking Taro what exactly is happening, what exactly is going on, stuff like that, like why are we warriors now, what did he think, like what happens. And he doesn't answer them. Like he doesn't, like Taro was just like, why did you just tell them what's going on? He basically says that I'm just doing what needs to be done. There really doesn't need to be any answers or anything like that. And he, Blue kind of goes off on him and saying stuff like, yeah, this might be fine for you, but we were just brought into this. We're regular people, like we're regular normal people. You aren't. You don't, what you need to learn how to like understand people. And that kind of does something to him, because we see that Taro is really, we see that these monsters are all like based off of desire and stuff like that, but we see that Taro really doesn't have any desires and stuff, because he's just this big huge prodigy that he doesn't need to really have anything that he wants, because he's satisfied with everything. And he's also like, he's a prodigy, and he's been, he's good at everything he tries. He's good at everything that he does. He's always been good at everything. So I could tell, so maybe he just feels, maybe he has no desires, because maybe he's just bored, or he in this episode he did say he's satisfied, so that's probably why he doesn't really have any type of desires or things of that nature. So we see that Blue and Haruka end up getting teleported to Jin, and he basically tells them everything that's going on, what are the monsters, what are the three main bad guys, and who are they, stuff like that. So basically he says that they're called the Zera brands. He said they're that's what their species basically is. They're called Zera brands. They exist on a higher plane of existence than humans do, and because of, and the monsters that they're fighting are called the Niyazukis, and basically called Niyazuki. And when a person, when a human's desire is too high and there are too many Niyazukis, then the Zera brands, their world will basically become like unstable, and so basically it's their job, basically they take it upon themselves to go destroy any people who turn into Niyazukis. That's why when they destroy a monster, it kills the person. It kills the monster and the person entirely. But when with the DonBrothers, when they destroy a monster, they just destroy the monster itself for sparing the person. So we see the Zera brands. They're talking about what they're gonna do about the five, the DonBrothers and things like that. And they say that, and the Blue one, he says that he talks to the council, about that. So apparently there are people that they answer to. We see that he says that I talked to the council about it, stuff like that. They haven't responded to me yet. So they start talking about things that about humans. They start talking about humans. We see that the girl, she basically says she talks about love, and she wants to understand what love really is. We see the brown one, he wants to understand what laughter is, and he does a whole bunch of like creepy things, like these weird, these big awkward laughs and stuff like that. He wants to understand what laughter is. And we see that the blue one, he really doesn't want to understand anything. He just thinks humans are completely primitive in every single way. Like, he doesn't care about them. He's I guess he's like the true Zero brand. You know, he's the one that just like, hey, I'm true to my race. I don't care about what these people are doing. So we see that they actually they're actually walking around the city and stuff like that, you know, trying to basically look for the things that they want to understand. And we see that the girl, she's sitting there looking all beautiful. This man comes up and sits next to her. He said, hey, can I sit next to you? She says yes. And he basically talks about like how he basically complimenting her, telling her how beautiful she is and things like that. And she basically says, you know, she ends up blowing wind in his face, and seeing that a door, one of the little doors that, you know, pop up and stuff like that when we see them try to teleport anywhere, the DonBrothers teleport anywhere, and one of these little doors appears on this man's forehead, and she leaves and she tells him that door will one day open. And he's like, wait, what door? What are you talking about? So we see the brown one. He goes off to like a hospital, the top of like a hospital roof, and there's people out there, you know, stuff like that. He sees these two nurses, and he hears them laughing and stuff like that, talking to each other. They're eating, and he basically walks up to them and says, hey, teach me how to laugh. And he starts like laughing a bunch, and like he starts like laughing a bunch of these weird, creepy laughs, and then he ends up blowing in their faces. And the two doors appear on their heads. One girl, her door doesn't open, but the other girl, her door does, and it shows the Nitsuki that's inside of, basically Netsuki. The Natsuki, I think it's Natsuki. Basically, the Natsuki that's inside of her, and he's like, "Oh, you had more than I thought you have." So she is basically that girl, that one nurse is basically the monster of the week for, you know, basically the monster of the week. She ends up transforming. We end up seeing that her monster basically starts to really, her Natsuki starts to really affect her, because she is really, really passionate about being a nurse, and she's going throughout the day thinking like I have to protect the patients, and stuff like that. And she ends up transforming into the Natsuki, which looks pretty cool. It's a pretty cool looking, you know, monster, stuff like that. But also in the episode, we see that Pink is going through things. He's basically he got promoted to being head chief, and now he's being kind of a dick, and he kind of gets a big head. We sees that his wife, Miho, is like, she sees this and she's like, you know, I don't like how my husband's acting and stuff. So he feel, you know, he basically felt like he's a loser. That's all he felt. He basically felt like he was a loser and unworthy of her. And now with him having this, you know, new job and stuff like that, like he just feels like, yeah, you know, he basically is more confident. So him and her end up going to a very fancy restaurant, and they're talking stuff like that, and she ends up passing out. And when she passes out, he ends up taking her to the hospital, and that same nurse who is going to be the Nitsuki, she comes in and she's you know, helping him out and stuff like that. Her and another nurse go to help out some other patients, and she trips and falls, and we see that her Nitsuki starts to affecting her. Then we see Pink ends up going to he feels, you know, weirded out, stuff like that. He does end up talking to Taro, telling him, you know, stuff like, hey, I want to offer you a job and stuff like that, like you can get a better job, make more money, stuff like that. And, you know, Taro's like, nah, I'm good, I don't care, I don't see my job as a big or a small job, I don't care, I'm satisfied with my job and work and stuff like that. And then like Pink is like, oh, well, he said, well, fine, get out then. He said, I thought you were stronger than that. He said, I thought you were stronger than that, go on, get out. And then Taro's like, all right, cool, but whatever. But are you? He looks at him and says, "Are you okay? You look weaker than you look weaker than usual." And wow, really hit him hard there. He ends up leaving. So when we get to the basically when we get to after, you know, Jin is told Haruka and Blue about everything, we see that you know, Pink, he ends up going to Taro, and, you know, after leaving the hospital from Miho, and basically says that I want to challenge you to, you know, I need to be stronger, I need to surpass you, stuff like that. So he says, what do you want to challenge me in? Like, what do you say? He said, anything's fine. I've never been really good at anything. And then Tato's like, well, I've always been good at everything, so I guess we're alike in some form or fashion. So basically Pink starts to basically like start imagining things that he could challenge him at. It was sumo wrestling, arm wrestling, and thumb wrestling, and he loses at all of them. He basically loses in all of them, and he basically says that, oh, there's no way I can beat this guy or whatever. So we see that the girl has transformed into the Nitsuki, and this big shark sword, this big shark animal thing. She goes off. She was, and her only thing she's saying is everyone needs to be hospitalized. Everyone needs to be hospitalized so I can nurse you all back to health. Yeah. So she basically just starts attacking random people very sporadically. She's attacking some people at the temple that they were at, and you see that Tato ends up transforming into Don Momotaro, and that's when Pink finds out that you know, that's him. He found out that he said, oh man, so Tato is Momoi Tato. Tato is Don, you know, Momotaro Red. And that's when he's like, oh, were you a Momotaro Red? I didn't know that. He's like, yeah. And he's like talking to him, and they're fighting all these monsters. He said, all right, well, the challenge is whoever can defeat the most monsters. So they're fighting stuff like that. He ends up transforming into he can only transform into Pink Rangers, so he ends up transforming, turning into Pato Pink. And while he's fighting stuff like that, we see that the Haruka Blue and Black, they end up getting there as well. Everybody's there fighting this big brawl. We end up seeing that he transforms into he's getting his butt handed to him by the monsters and the shark and the big Natsuki. We see that the brown dude, yeah, he was there too, looking for people to teach him how to laugh creepily. He goes after Tato ends up saving Pink from getting stomped out. We see that he ends up fighting the brown guy, and as he's telling him like, hey, you must be good at laughing and stuff like that. He showed me how to laugh, and he laughs in front of him, and he basically says, hey, your laugh sucks. He attacks him a little bit and says, oh, you suck at laughing. This is how you laugh. Because when Tato transforms, his whole personality changes, things like that, and he's always laughing. So they ended up defeating the Natsuki monster. Everybody together ended up defeating the Natsuki monster, and then that's when they start fighting the brown Cerebrand. So they're fighting him, and we see that they end up using the monster that she was after they defeated her. She was a Zyuohger gear. Basically, she was basically a Zyuohger monster, because when you look at her, she's like three animals fused together. She's mostly a shark and I think like an elephant, something else. And he ends up using that little peach robot form he has, and he takes the Zyuohger gear and uses it to summon their three cubes, the main three Rangers cubes, and he ends up fusing the cubes with himself, and ends up becoming like this little robot bird thing, and ends up fighting Brown, and they end up actually defeating. Well, they beat him, but after they end up defeating him, we see that the rest of they don't really show the rest of what everybody else is doing, but we see that Pink, as he goes back to the hospital, sees that Momoi sees that Miho is okay, stuff like that. We see that he's given up. He apologizes and he gave up his head chief job and stuff like that. And she looks at him and says, like, he's like, oh well, I kind of liked you better the way you were, stuff like I liked you better the way you were, stuff like that. And then we see that Tato was there. He was watching from outside. He says that, hey, I guess you win the challenge, because I could never make a woman smile like that. And the episode basically ends off right there. But this is a great episode. I love the attention to. I love the building of like the characters we had. We had a character basically go through a lesson in this. We also had we got more information about what the hell is happening in this freaking show. We got more of our three bad guys and stuff like that, basically learning more about them, seeing more how they are gonna act, things like that. So but yeah, this is an overall great episode. Also Kaito Kaito was actually on his laptop and he was seeing everybody's points that he was getting. Everybody's points. And we see that basically have a power scaling system, and we see that Pink. He says that Pink has lost some points, but his happiness has gone up, so that's cool. But yeah, also the Zyuohger gear didn't teleport to Kaito. I mean, if it did, they didn't show us, but the Zyuohger gear didn't teleport to Kaito, so I wonder if they're gonna still like Itato gonna still have it, you know. But because we always knew that, you know, these gears, whenever like a monster is defeated by the Don brothers, you know, the gear would teleport to Kaito, but it didn't this time. So I guess maybe they still have it, or maybe he doesn't have it, or maybe he'll have it eventually. But yeah, but other than that, this is a great episode, guys. You guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode. What you guys think about, you know, the overall character development we got a lot in this episode, and also the world building and stuff like that. And the information that we got in this episode was very dope. But other than that, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode. And I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody, and remember, stay henshin.